Hi everybody, I'm Rick Spooner. Welcome to CMC's Market Update video for Tuesday the 13th of May. Well, I think the most interesting feature of international markets over the past 24 hours has been what might be some developing upward momentum in stock markets. We saw the US index charts finish with a couple of quite promising green candles from the point of view of bulls, and of course up into new highs. It may be a little bit early yet to really draw any firm conclusions. We may be a little bit close to the recent highs still, but certainly if we see the sort of momentum that we saw last night continue in the next day or two, then from a bullish point of view there certainly looks to be a prospect of the market getting underway with the next leg of some sort of upward movement. So that sort of spirit has certainly carried on into the Australian market here this morning. The Australia 200 index up by more than 50 points as I'm recording this, and the market appears this morning anyway to have cast aside any lingering concerns they may have about tonight's budget and the possible negative impact of fiscal drag on the economy. It's also going to be quite an interesting period coming up, I think, in terms of market news. We've got a couple of interesting pieces of data over the next 24 hours, one of which I think will be China's industrial production figures, which are due for release at around 3:30 Australian time this afternoon. This has been one of the most variable figures in amongst the Chinese data set, and it's certainly weakened in terms of overall trend in recent months. So over the last 3 or 4 months we've seen it averaging around 8.5% to 9%, and the market is looking for that sort of thing to be continued. There'll be a focus on it though, because of course industrial production in China depends a lot on their exports, and while export growth was a little bit better than expected in April, the overall picture over the last few months, though, is a negative trend, with exports, for example, averaging negative 3% per annum over the last 4 months. So certainly it'll be a relief to the market, I think, if this figure can hold around expectations, or of course even better, do a little bit above expectations. Another figure I think that could be a focus or a key number for markets in the next 24 hours are the US retail sales. Now, what we've seen there is quite a nice strong bounce after the cold winter weather. So the February and March figures were good, robust numbers that certainly looks as though US consumer spending is back on track. But now that the winter is behind us and the reaction to it is behind us, I think the key question for a market might be the extent to which the US consumer can continue to crack on, so to speak, given the fact that personal income growth is really just very flat, and there is still a significant underemployment as well as unemployment problem in the US. So that'll be a key figure again for markets. The market is looking for a 0.4% increase, and so again, as with industrial production, if we can do that or a bit better, that could be a positive result for markets, particularly given the momentum we've developed in equity markets over the last day or so. Well, speaking of equity markets, the chart that I thought might be of interest to readers today is the Australia 200 index. Big picture here is that, since the high we made in October last year, the market had flattened out and formed into a broad, more or less sideways channel, but recently, of course, has nudged through the top of that. And in nudging through the top of it, and generally in recent weeks, we've formed up into what looks as though it might be a pretty useful trend channel. So today's strong move sees us bouncing for a third time off that trend channel. And also, just to confirm its relevance at the moment, we've got the 40-day moving average, which is now beginning to track in line with the support of the channel. So that might be quite an interesting little tool for chart traders over the next days and weeks. The beginning thing to do to look at will be, if this rally continues, then the resistance, depending on how quickly we get there, could be up around the 5600 to 5600 plus sort of an area. And for those looking to sell the market, if we hit there and start to fall away again, then that again would confirm this channel looking for a decline back to the support. But the other potential, of course, is that we develop some real momentum and break up through the upside, which would be a sign of real strength. So something to keep an eye on, I think, in coming days and weeks. Thanks for listening in. I'll be back tomorrow with another market update video.